How are you guys doing? Just wanted to talk to you guys about, you know, kind of the juggling of being an entrepreneur. One of the things that you really have to get accustomed to is, especially when you're starting as an entrepreneur, you're gonna have so many things coming at you at once, and really you can't deal with all of them at the same time. Whether it's you have um, $200,000 worth of problems and you only have $50,000 available, or you just have XYZ things to do, but you only have so much time to do it that week. You gotta learn how to defer certain problems and prolong them while you put out immediate fires. You want to make sure that every time you have, obstacles in your path, you kind of weigh them out to see, okay, obstacle A can potentially close down my business. Obstacle B, give me a small fine. They're both due on the same day, or they both take the similar amount of capital. But you would choose option A, and deal with that problem first so your business doesn't close down. And the worst case scenario is you get a small fine on option B, and then you can deal with that later. So and that's a lot with people wanting to be perfect. Being an entrepreneur, just being a person in general, nobody's requiring you to be perfect. They're just, all you should ask from yourself is just to put as much effort as you can in every day, you know. And once you do that, you'll start seeing results in your life and your business. Just attack things a little bit at a time. No matter who tells you how, if you're going too slow or whatever, just do it at your own time. So I wanted to bring that up to you guys because on a day-to-day basis, like, I have issues, just like every entrepreneur has things to deal with every day, problems. And problems, we don't call them problems, we call them obstacles. They're obstacles because you get over obstacles, so. But especially when you're starting up, if you have $100,000 worth of obstacles, but you only have $20,000 worth of solutions, then you gotta put that $20,000 to work while you can figure out how to get that next $80,000 difference. So you put that $20,000 into the most, I guess, stressful or important obstacle first, so you can tackle that while you can either delay verbally with whoever's the one holding you to the commitment of that obstacle, or make a payment plan of some form. I do this all the time, especially like I always, especially starting up, it's like you're always lack of funds. I'm not gonna lie. And real estate, like I'm doing commercial real estate, and there's a lot of times, especially because it was my first time doing a commercial deal. There's always certain just obstacles that I never even knew that would like face me. I was like, I can't believe like I'm going through this, or I mean, the school was like whatever, you know what I mean, but it's like, damn man, like I have to do this and this and this. So but what kept me level headed at all times was that you know and you got to know your market. Like I know real estate for a fact, it's a slower game. So even though you have an issue, they might give you 3 months to fix it. And then if you're actually very proactive with the regulators or the city or whoever, and you talk to them on a regular basis and you do a little bit at a time, that 3 months can extend to 6 months, or you know what I mean. So you gotta be very resourceful when you don't have resources. And it really starts from you. Like, what do you have personally? Okay, you have your voice, you have communication skills, you can communicate, and a person loves to hear communication versus silence. And it's very hard even now, like it's very hard sometimes for me to call certain people when I have commitments and tell them, I got a delay for next week, or I got a delay till next month, and we might have a little issue on the phone, but at the end of it, you say, you know what, okay, you called me, it's cool, just call me next month. It's okay. And most of the times, in that case, because I delayed, I put them in priority for the next month, so they even get their stuff early the following month, right? So don't be scared when you have so many things coming at you at once. It's gonna be overwhelming, and that's how it should feel. You're embarking on something new that maybe you've never done before. And I know I felt overwhelmed probably for like a whole year. Like, that was just the mood, the theme, the chorus, the theme song was just overwhelming. So you just gotta get comfortable with that feeling, because more often than not, when you're trying to level up or achieve something that you've never achieved before in life, you're gonna feel overwhelmed, and it's a natural human experience, and it's totally fine to go through. But when it comes to obstacles, on your day-to-day basis, on a month-to-month basis, I can definitely speak on real estate. Is that you just gotta learn how to decipher on what obstacles are extremely urgent and that need to be dealt with right away, and what obstacles you can kind of finesse your way into doing either a payment plan, or kind of finesse it to like 3 months down the road, where you can either raise the money, or you can make the money yourself and pay it off or something. Because listen, man, most people when they're starting up have a lot less money than they need, and it's not even that they didn't go in with the right money. It's just that when you're doing something for the first time, your mistakes are gonna be a lot more expensive than you expected. You watch HGTV a couple of times and think you're an expert, and then you realize that they're not even telling you 50%. It is what it is. I mean, it's a TV show. So just stay calm as well. Stay calm when you're facing all these obstacles. But yeah, so don't feel over. I mean, when you feel overwhelmed is fine. So I'm not gonna say don't feel overwhelmed, but when you feel overwhelmed, just know it's natural, and that the person beside you that's starting their business and saying their business is doing fine or whatever feels overwhelmed as well. Because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs, especially when we're starting, it's like we have this it's kind of like an ego. Not saying that we, because when you're an entrepreneur, you really do have to humble yourself. Because like, I know I humble myself when I'm in my business every day. Like, you could come and see me work. There's nothing below me in my business, because I have a goal, and that's all that matters to me. But when you're going out and people ask how business is doing, or your fellow entrepreneurs, you might be, yeah, man, business is good, like, everything's gravy. When you're overwhelmed, person beside you overwhelmed, but you don't want to talk about it because you think there's an issue talking about it. And that's why I think it's so important for you, only when you've actually started your journey, is to get a mentor. If you haven't started your journey, and you haven't put the rubber to the road and started your journey to becoming an entrepreneur, I don't think you do need a mentor, because there's nothing really for a mentor to mentor you in if you haven't started. Like, there's different type of mentors, but specifically if you're looking for a business mentor, you should be in a business, so the business mentor can mentor you in that particular business. So, but once you do have a mentor, they can kind of tell you that, like, listen, man, I went through these things too. There's nothing special. Every time, like, my mentors talk to me all the time, and they just call me out on my bullshit like 24/7, so, and at the end of it, they're like, you're doing fine, but I went through this too, and this is how you should stop doing it. Or they'll tell me like, this isn't acceptable because A, B, and C. And you really got to take it with an open mind, and just understand that when you are an entrepreneur, the feeling of overwhelmness and, you know, just making mistakes in general, especially at the beginning, is just something normal. And that's what, you know, a lot of things separates successful entrepreneurs and unsuccessful entrepreneurs. And just that in itself, of like accepting your mistakes but not trying to make them again, not making them again, period, is what really separates a lot of individuals. And the first way that, you know, you have to recognize I mean, is to correct your mistakes, is to recognize it. And to recognize it, you kind of have to lower your ego and get humble, because a lot of times how I've recognized my mistakes is from someone else, you know, because I'm a human and I think I'm perfect. You know what I mean? So yeah. So just don't feel overwhelmed when you have obstacles in your path. Learn how to decipher which ones are actually actually ones you need to deal with right now, and which ones can you kind of push down later down the road. Not really procrastinate, but kind of put it a little later down the road so you can gather up some money to pay for it. You know, I think there's a couple more things I want to talk about, but I think that's about it. Yeah, man, I could get better at these video vlogs. You know, I only have like 7 people watching right now, so we'll get better by the time I have a lot more followers. So yeah, but anyways, enjoy your guys' night.